Entering the 22 season, it's always an exciting time. New season, some new players, but we return a ton of players that we're excited about. I think we're really balanced. We'll have the biggest roster we've ever had under my tenure, and I believe maybe the biggest roster in our almost 90-year history, which is good and bad, but we're just excited about our depth, and we just think we'll be fairly balanced from top to bottom. So that's going to be good. Coming out of 1.5, 2 years of COVID, so hopefully we're through most of that, and we can just hit the ground running in a fresh season. The senior class this year, it's exciting. We have players who have played a lot, players who maybe would have wished they would have played a little bit more, but the biggest contribution those 7 guys make, I think, is culturally, top to bottom. They're unified. They're great friends. They've all been roommates. They've had the same roommates since they've been freshman year all the way through. They get what we want culturally. And for me, that's the biggest contribution that those guys are going to make. Sure, you've got the returning conference player of the year in there. You've got a goalkeeper. You've got other guys in certain positions. But for me, just their love for each other and what they do for us culturally is the most important thing. Yeah, so we returned Sam Bielitz this year as he's returning conference player of the year. He's a senior captain. The pressure is going to be on him, and rightfully so. When you win an award like that, he was an all-region player. He scored a ton of goals for us last year. He'll be expected to do that again, but he's prepared for that. It's one of those things that he's ready for it. And I actually feel he's had a better summer than he was able to have last summer. So I think he's more prepared, both physically and mentally, to have a great year. Jesse Grayshock was a part-time starter last year, and he's penciled in to starting goal this year. There'll be some competition for that spot, but on paper he's penciled in to be our starter. And vocal leader in the back, which is a veteran back four. Depending on how things play out, we could return the same starting back four we had from last year, and adding him in the mix, we're just excited about what that continuity should bring. So some other seniors that will contribute. I think Mark Junta has a chance to have a great year. He played a ton on the wing. Aaron McFeeters has also started a lot and played a lot of heavy minutes at center back. And actually, last year I think he had 7 goals through set pieces. So we're hoping that he continues to be a threat in that area as well this year. The junior class for us is big. There'll be 13 players in that class. So we made a incremental roster jump 2 years ago, and that was bringing in a big class was part of that. So there's a variety of players in that group that will use some uncomfortable seasons and experiences over the last 2 years, hopefully, and some growth there. And playing some heavy minutes to really have a good year this year. Clay Meredith started at center back, Hunter Harden, Lance Lanowski, Chris DeLucia, Chris Eklund. There's a lot of guys in that class. We also get Jacob Graham back, who missed all of last year from injury. He had a broken foot last year, so he's like just essentially another kind of recruit, if you'd say, coming in there to add some depth essentially. So we're excited about that whole group. Sophomore class, there's a lot of energy, a lot of fun in that class. I think 2 players that contributed, 3 players I would say that contributed a lot last year were able to get a lot of minutes. I think it's a good class top to bottom, but Luke Kimmick played left back, started a lot of games for us last year. He'll be looked upon to contribute again. John Luke Harbour played a ton centrally as a central midfielder and did some really good things. And then Jordan Rebsamen, who came off the bench, actually scored in the conference semifinal, brought a lot of energy and some wonderful attitude off the bench. So we're excited to see what Jordan can do again this year. The PAC is a challenging league. I think if you measured us against the OAC and the North Coast Conference, maybe top to bottom, we're not as high of a profile conference as those two, which are kind of neighboring conferences that are really good and have produced some really good teams. But I would say from a competitiveness standpoint, the PAC is just crazy. 2017 through last year, I think we've had 5 different winners, at least 4 different winners in that stretch, which means that anybody can win. The 5th seeded team won last year. So I really think it's going to be a dogfight to get in the top 6, which is what everybody's looking for. And from there, I think anybody can win. We'll see how the rankings play out, but I think there's going to be 4 or 5 teams, and Bethany proved that last year. So there's quality in the league, and if somebody gets hot at the right time, that anybody can win it. There's some young coaches, that maybe have only been around for a year or 2, so they're looking to make a mark. There's some new coaches. There's essentially one new program, and then Franciscan, who was a first-year program last year and made the final. So it's really just telling that new blood, new competition, anybody can get there, and it's just a matter of, can you finalize a good position to get in the top 6 and find a good spot, and then can you be playing quality soccer at the end of October and November. Bethany's strength is they went on a run, 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 and they end up winning, and somebody just has to replicate that. The key to our season this year is to be good in moments. I think soccer's like that. We've been really good, I think, consistently throughout our seasons. Last year we were their #1 seed, but we weren't good enough in moments in the semifinal. And we need to be good in moments, and those moments have to be in the right moments. I think we'll be competitive to make the top 6 for sure. We'd love to be top 4 to be able to get a home game in that first round. And then we just have to be good at the right moments. And that's just about us working hard this season, having really good mentality, and just being competitive within our own group. We think if we can be competitive within our team, which I think it will be, and just train to be good in those moments, deal with those mental pressures. And then when the moments come in the semi, we hopefully will be able to deliver.